Good morning and welcome to all. We are joining a unique conversation with Gurudev. New world, new thinking. We have very special guests from New Zealand, and starting with Precious Clark. Precious Clark is the managing director of Moria Consulting. As a chief executive of Moria Consulting, a company with a mission to share Moria culture to shape and inform a modern world. They develop and train programs called TIKA, which means to ignite. It ignites people's understanding of their own identity through the expression of Moria culture. We welcome you to the conversation, Precious. Going next to our next guest, Francis Valentine. Francis Valentine is a leader in innovation and emerging technologies. After 20 years of career in higher education and creative technology, Francis launched Tech Futures Lab in 2016, committed to development of people and capabilities and developing a culture of innovation and responsiveness to technical advancements. Francis has worked with and advised 250 plus organizations from every sector in New Zealand, from agriculture to finance to retail to law, and has gained a reputation as an expert in leading change initiatives. Yeah, we welcome you, Francis.
Thank you.
And we also have Derek Handley with us. Derek Handley is a futuristic entrepreneur and a student. He's the founding member, general partner with IRA VC, an alliance of global families investing in transformative companies tackling the UN sustainable goals. He's an aspiring civilian astronaut signed up to visit space with Virgin Galactic and created an IRA Foundation in 2015 as a charitable studio catalyzing social innovations to reframe the status quo for the sustainable future. We welcome you all to this conversation with Gurudev. Over to you all.
Thank you.
Nice to have you all. How are you all doing? Good?
We're very good, thank you. It's a great pleasure to be speaking with you, Gurudev, from New Zealand this evening, the morning for you. We're very privileged and happy to have this conversation. It's wonderful to connect. In New Zealand, at the beginning of proceedings like this, the indigenous Maori people, of which Precious is a member of, we have a blessing and a prayer that we would like Precious to share with you.
Definitely. Please go ahead.
Tēnā koe e te tama rehua, o tira kia koutou katoa Māori ora. Huri tēnei o Ngāti Whātua, Waikato te uri o hau me Ngāti he e mihi atu. Acknowledgements and greetings to you, Gurudev, and everyone who is here. I offer a karakia, a blessing in my native tongue, and this blessing summons energy from above, it summons energy from below, it summons energy from within, and energy external of all of us so that vitality can be settled amongst us all and distributed to everybody present. And we're united and bound in that intention. So here we go. Tū tawa mai runga, tū tawa mai raro, tū tawa mai roto, tū tawa mai waho. Kia tau ai te Māori tū, te Māori ora ki te katoa, haumi e, hui e, Thank
you, Precious.
Lovely. That's so nice. It's so heartwarming, these blessings.
Gurudev, we would like to start. I would like to start to explore. Obviously, where we are in the world is a very interesting time. There's a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of kind of tectonic plates that are shifting underneath us. What do you think this shift is ushering in? What do you think all this trauma, pain, and uncertainty is maybe telling us, teaching us, or bringing to us?
I consider this pandemic nothing short of the World War. You know, after World War II, the world underwent big turbulences. But fortunately, in that time, there was not much communication between the countries. There were no televisions that people would sit in their home and watch. And social media was not there. So somehow there was that cushion of lack of information to people, even though there was a war. But it really hit hard the economy of the world at the time. And then now, because of social media and we are well connected, we become aware of the magnitude of the pandemic, which is really taken the world to a toss. But I would say one thing. Like after the World War II, all those countries which were erased to the ground, they built themselves up. They came up very fast. Within a decade's time, they became so prosperous, like Germany, Japan, Italy, many other countries. So I should think that this pandemic has made people to think about themselves, number one. Think about their priorities. And second is see how vulnerable is human race. We are so vulnerable. So we must cooperate with each other, not compete, not one upmanship between the countries, between the political setups. Rather, care and concern for the entire human race is what this pandemic has taught us. That's where we should head ourselves. And also make use of this as an opportunity to restart, reboot ourselves to a new beginning and make our economy robust. Yes.
And I think, Francis, you have
Yes,
views on
Derek.
that in terms of the personal?
I do, and I think, Gurudev, when we look at New Zealand, we are coming out of the worst of the pandemic. But actually, even from here, we are seeing emotional aftershocks, actually, as people grapple with this change and people are behaving in ways that we haven't seen for a long time. And I wondered if you think, off the back of lockdown, could there be a rising of a new consciousness as people come back to the collective? Or do you think as they break away from each other, where do you imagine?
I agree with you, Francis Valentine. This is what will happen. After the lockdown, there is new normals now we have to look into. So people will come up with little shock, and sometimes this anxiety may stay on for a little longer time. By the way, I should congratulate New Zealand for really handling this COVID situation very well and having totally controlled. It's a pure land with such a pristine nature, and you have protected your nature well, and people are very health consciousness, I suppose, in New Zealand. And the boosting one's immune system has really perhaps helped to control this COVID situation very well. But post-COVID, the mental health issue will remain an issue for at least a few months, if not a whole year in the whole world. So we need to keep giving positive, thought process and encourage people to think positive, number one, and to get rid of loneliness and depression or an aggressive tendency. I think meditation and yoga would be the best solution. If not, they may have to go for medication, which doesn't really work all the way through. It may work for some time, but on the long run, it's change in lifestyle, like doing some yoga, doing some Tai Chi or meditation. And
What about the
breathing
collective,
technique.
the collective spirit I guess, Precious, New Zealand is a very collective oriented approach to how we got out of COVID and how we responded.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, Gurudev, for acknowledging the effort of a team of 5 million people here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, who really bandied together because looking after each other became the ultimate priority. I'm extremely proud of not only our government and our community response, but also the response of all of the iwi, the tribes that reside here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, who provided a much needed safety net for our family members who are some of the most vulnerable people within our society here in New Zealand. So thank you for acknowledging that, and we wish every other country the same fortune that we have. But I'm quite interested in this conversation about new world, new thinking. And when I think about that, I like to remind us that we have ancient wisdom within our Indigenous cultures all throughout the world, and that ancient wisdom is relevant and it's evidence-based. It's been tried and true over generations and generations. Within our own Māori culture, the Indigenous culture of New Zealand, we have this beautiful concept called mauri. And mauri is the life force of all things that are found within this world. So if we think of at the bottom of the ocean, there are grains of sand, and each of those grains of sand have mauri, they have life force. On top of those grains of sand is a rock, and that rock has mauri, it has a life force. Growing on that rock is seaweed, and that seaweed has mauri. Attached to that seaweed is a kina, a sea urchin chewing away at the seaweed, and that kina has mauri. Eating the kina is a snapper fish, and that snapper has mauri. The water has mauri, and that whole ecosystem has mauri. And so mauri recognizes and acknowledges the life force in all living things and the interconnectedness and the interdependence of all things that are found in our world. And so in COVID-19 lockdown, what I saw was a revitalization of the mauri of our natural environment here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I also saw, as you mentioned, Gurudev, that things that might not have been on the table to discuss previously are now on the table. And so in thinking about ancient wisdom, Indigenous knowledge, and applying that to the modern thinking, I think of this concept of mauri, which values interconnectedness. And how might something like mauri provide an alternative model for economic models like capitalism? And so I'm quite keen to explore that concept with you, Gurudev.
Thank you for that very much, Precious. This, what you say as mauri is what in the ancient culture in India is called prana. Prana is the life force which is present everywhere. Actually, we are all floating in an ocean of prana. That the whole creation is in an ocean of prana. And that's what mauri, I find it very, very interesting. The indigenous cultures around the world have some similarities. I've seen the indigenous groups in Canada, in Vancouver, then in Halifax, and in indigenous groups in Ontario, and also here in India, in Arunachal Pradesh. And I can't tell you how similar they are. There is a card that runs through all this indigenous culture throughout the world. I think we must make extra effort to preserve this culture, the language, and then the philosophy. This shows that nature has embedded this wisdom almost in every part of the world, though we may be saying in different languages. But the one thing is, we are all just made up of one thing. The whole world is one family, and the whole world actually is one organism. So that is what we are heading to. And here, it's most important that values of compassion, belongingness, honoring the diversity. This should be rekindled in the world. I often say life is like a tree where the shoots should be new, flowers are new, but the roots have to be old. So we have to have the combination of both the modern and the ancient. And New Zealand, you have both. Let me congratulate you once again for keeping up this culture.
Kia ora, thank you. May I ask a supplementary question to flow with that? And it really is, with New Zealand being a country that is grappling with its colonial past, like every other country at the moment, we're grappling with racism. And it's a country where the majority and therefore the political power resides with people who are not the Indigenous people of this land. So how might we open people's hearts to see the value that exists with Indigenous cultures so that it then allows us to shape and inform a modern world? How do you do that, Gurudev?
I think these days with modern education and a broad mindset, people are not so fanatic as they used to be, at least in parts, especially the younger generation. You have to focus on the younger generation. When they are exposed to culture, different cultures, so their minds and hearts open up. It's lack of familiarity with different cultures that keep them in closed shells or in small groups. And so for their identity security, they remains aloof. But when they come out and interact with people of different thinking, ideology, culture, and religion, I think that is the way. We should have more multicultural and religious gatherings where people get to learn about each other. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, the holistic view and the interconnectedness that we want and we want to see in the world is something that's coming out of this time. But we can also read the papers and the news, and there is, a lot of friction still and emerging at the time where it seems like, there's a constant stream of negative news and negativity that we can't seem to reverse. And I know one of the things you ask people to do is celebrate everything, celebrate always. How do you reconcile that when you see such an amount of animosity and suffering and pain, and with all the racial disruption in racial pain at the moment in the US, which is rippling around the world? How can one carry themselves day to day, seeing and acknowledging that, but celebrating at the same time? Sometimes you might look at it and say, well, what's there to celebrate?
Yeah, it is really challenging time when the emotions are raging very high. You cannot that time talk about celebration. That time you simply have to control the situation, calm people down. When some people are so excited, that is not the time to even talk about anything else other than calming down and calm down and sit across the table, sort out the differences. Prejudice is really is clogging the human race in parts. We must remember that even in this racial injustice with what happened to George there, but people cutting across, everybody came together. I mean, all different people of different races participated. So we must not put everybody into one box. See, it's not such a big divide. Yes, there is racial divide, but it is limited to a small minority. And that is what people are angry about. And it's correct. It's justified that they have to vent their feelings. Such demonstrations, even create more awareness in the society that such things should not happen anymore. So on that front, yes, some such demonstration indicate we are all human beings and we are not living in the 17th or 18th century. We are in the 21st century. And some people tend to live in the past, so they hold on to the prejudice. But I tell you, one thing is we should not be in a victim state of mind. If we are in a victim consciousness, we always find the other to be wrong. We look for culprits. Even though someone is not a culprit, we impose culprithood on them because we suffer a victim, number one. On the other side, the prejudice we have against gender, against race, against religion should be done away with. This can only happen with a broadband education and creating awareness among people. And apart from these two, I would say it is the stress factor, the frustration factor in one's life that propels them towards anything that is negative.
Thank you. Gurudev, I have a question about humans in modern world are very big on buildings they want to own and create permanence, structures that they own and can power over. But I think COVID has taught us that impermanence, that every day is a different day, that there is an ability to be much more fluid and not necessarily have these structures built in the empires around us. Do you imagine over coming years that people will understand the impermanence of life, that actually we don't control it, we can't build it, contain it, but we flow through it? And do you think that this is starting to rise as a concept across particularly the Western world?
Yeah. I think we have to move through it, yes. Okay. And that's where we are heading, yeah.
Wonderful, thank you.
I guess a follow-on from your question, Francis, is how do we expedite that? How do we expedite that journeying through it, particularly for Western culture, because Indigenous cultures have an understanding of that concept? Well, many of the Indigenous cultures I've connected with. What are our thoughts about that?
You are asking question to Francis, right?
To everyone.
Well, how do we accelerate the idea that we become more comfortable with impermanence and fluidity and that things change and that we cannot hold on to the things in the past and hold on to attachments?
Meditation. Meditation is the answer. When you meditate and your mind comes to the present, you let go of the past and you're not anxious about the future either. Otherwise, the tendency of an adult's mind is we hold on to the past, we are angry about the past, and we are anxious about the future. And when mind oscillates between past and future like this, it creates a lot of toxins in the body. It reduces the immune system. Our immunity goes down, and then our perception gets colored. So, then we get into a lot of, the mind goes through such a muddle, it creates a mess for itself. So, meditation helps us to be in the present, see things with a positive outlook for the future. You are able to let go and let be and move on. Meditation helps us.
Do you think that, you must, obviously you believe meditation is a solution or a response to almost anything or almost everything. What other, are the greatest benefits of meditation apart from bringing people to the present?
Latest scientific discovery shows, meditation improves the gray matter in the brain. It, it also changes the structure of the brain. Amygdala shrinks. Amygdala is the central part of the brain which is responsible for a lot of our anxiety, anxiousness, and many of these feelings, emotions. impulsiveness. When amygdala shrinks, we become more stable and there is more clarity in perception. Our actions depend on our thought process, and our brain is the machine for our thought process, is an apparatus. So if the brain is if the structure of the brain is changed, then naturally our thoughts will be more intuitive, more innovative, and has a more understanding about how things are, rather than we try to imagine something and impose it on something else. Yeah.
Gurudev,
So
is there a way
Yeah.
that people can find stillness amongst a day of motion? So in their own office, in their working life, when they don't necessarily have time to stop completely, do you have any ways that people can find that stillness in their mind? Can you do this anywhere?
You can pay attention to your breath. Rhythms of the breath has something to do with your emotions, your inner state of mind. When your inner state, your mind is very calm and serene, your breath is also very rhythmic and soft. But if there is some restlessness, agitation, then the rhythm of the breath also is different. It varies. So I would say take few deep breaths, take a good walk, take a little break. Of course, people take tea breaks or coffee breaks in between work. At the time, not just coffee or tea, just go out and have deep, fresh air. Few times of fresh breath can also stimulate our mind and help us to get rid of any tension that we have. And before the work and after the work, I would recommend everyone to put on the headphones and sit and do a guided meditation. A number of guided meditation out there. I have made also many guided meditation in Art of Living app. I can just put it and 20 minutes, it will rejuvenate our body, mind, and spirit. And then you walk back with a smile in spite of very hectic day and had to be very stressed in the office. Still, it doesn't touch you. Yeah.
Gurudev, I read that when you were 4, you recited the Bhagavad Gita. Going back to our conversation about old wisdom, new world, can you share anything from the Gita that is most relevant for these interesting, strange times? What anecdotes, ideas from it to share with us?
Your problem is much smaller and you will be able to manage it much better. So, going out there and helping others who are really in need will also bring you immense relief and a sense of joy. I often say there are two types of joy. One is the joy in getting, which we are all as a children, we have been having this. Every kid has, when you get something, you are happy. But there is another happiness, a mature joy, which comes to you when you give. The joy of the grandmother at home, right? When you go home, your grandmother, when Derek goes home, the grandmother prepares some nice dishes, maybe a cake and all that, which you may not do it when she's all alone. So her joy is in feeding Derek, right? So this joy of a grandmother or grandfather is something we can all, emulate at any age. We don't have to become old to experience that joy. But when we start sharing and giving, we do experience that intense, happiness, which cannot match with anything else.
Gurudev, in preparation for the honor of this conversation today, I opened myself up to my ancestors and asked them to be with me present for this conversation. Is connecting to your ancestors something that you do in your practice, or do you more connect with the world and the universe?
See, the world has many dimensions and we are connected to all the dimensions. And ancestors are one such dimensions, and it is good to remember them and say our gratitude. Yeah, for them, for many in many cultures, they are still alive in a different plane though. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Any other thoughts, guys?
No, I just want to say how incredibly thrilled and honoured I am. We all are to have this time with you. It is a really highlight, and for all of us. And I think from New Zealand, we can speak on behalf of others watching from New Zealand and around the world. This is truly an honour, and thank you for your amazing work.
Wonderful, and I also thank you all. All three of you are such wonderful work you are doing, and keep doing your, your part of the work. And then I wish you all the best, and may God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gurudev, before you go, if I may, with our cultural practice here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we conclude things with a song or with a prayer. And so I offer a koha, a song to you and to all of the listeners. This is a song that is based on an ancient proverb of my ancestors, and it's one that I put a tune to, and it basically asks that may peace be widespread, may the sea glisten like pounamu, like greenstone, and may the shimmer of light guide your pathway forward. So here it is.
Lovely.
Kia ora te ma. I will sing it for you.
Short meditation, and after this we will have a short meditation that everyone can join. The world is joining us for meditation. It's a record. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, may this guide the meditation, Gurudev. So here we go. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa paunamu, te mohana. Kia te re hoki, te karohirohi, ki mua oto, huarahi. Moa ke tonu atu, moa ke tonu atu, ha-mi-e, hui-e, taiki-e.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much. When we are in this lockdown, I think people are eating too much. That's what I heard from many. We don't have place to go to do exercises. We can't even go for a long walk. We are locked down and we get bored, and so we keep eating. But then how about our digestive power? That takes a beating, right? Power to digest goes low, but the tendency to eat remains the same. So let's do something about our digestive system today. Okay? In meditation, we are going to take our attention to our tummy. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I am the fire, digestive fire in your belly, which digests all type of food. This is Lord Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita. So it is the consciousness which is there in our belly which digests our food. हमारे पेट में जो वैश्वानर अग्नि है, वो भगवान कृष्ण कहते हैं मैं वह वैश्वानर अग्नि हूँ और मैं तुम्हारा भोजन को पचाता हूँ, पाचन शक्ति मैं हूँ. ये जब कह रहे हैं, ध्यान पाचन शक्ति की ओर ले जाते हैं. आज आराम से बैठे. Let us sit comfortably and easily and let us close your eyes. आराम से बैठें और आंखें बंद कर लेते हैं. एक बार पूरा शरीर को मन ही मन देख लें, अनुभव कर लें. Just become aware of your whole body. Your body is a precious gift to you from nature. यह शरीर एक अद्भुत देन है, ईश्वर से मिला हुआ अद्भुत देन है. Honor your own body. अपने ही शरीर को आदर पूर्वक देखिए, सम्मान से देखिए. A body is our first dimension. Just feel your whole body from head to toe and toe to head. When you bring your attention to your own body, you may feel little restlessness, little jittery, or some discomfort here and there. Never mind. Let it be. The second dimension of ours is our breath. Let's take our attention to our breath. जब ध्यान शरीर पर लेके आते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ बेचैनी, कहीं कुछ झंझनाहट हो सकता है, उसको रहने दें. अभी अपना सांस पर आ जाइए. हमारा दूसरा आयाम है. इस सांस के वजह से हमारा शरीर जीवित है. Our body is alive because of this breath. Become aware of your breath. There is air all around you and inside of you. Like fish in the water, we are in air. जल में जैसे मछली है, वैसे हवा में हम. Take a deep breath in, feeling the air all around you, and breathe out and relax. सांस लेते लेते हमारे चारों ओर जो हवा है उसको और भीतर जो हवा है दोनों को महसूस करें और छोड़ दें. Let's take our attention to the third dimension, the mind. Our body is like the wick of a candle, the mind is like the glow. शरीर बाती है तो मन ज्योति है. मन के भीतर शरीर है. Our body is inside the mind. Mind is much bigger than the body. Let's take a deep breath in and let go. जो भी विचार आ रहे हो मन में आने दें. अच्छे बुरे कोई भी विचार आए आने दें. Whatever thoughts are coming in the mind, just let them come. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. Embrace them all. Let's take your attention to the top of the head. सिर के चोटी पर ध्यान रखें. And become aware of the empty space above your head. सिर के ऊपर जो खाली जगह है उसका भी स्मरण करें. Now let's take our attention slowly from the ceiling of the hall we are sitting onto the body and slowly down. अपना ध्यान छत से धीरे धीरे नीचे लेके आइएगा. सिर के चोटी से फिर अपना ध्यान को शरीर के एक एक अंग को स्मरण करते हुए पेट तक पहुंचते हैं. Let us bring our attention from the top of the head to forehead, back of the head, and notice your eyes are tired. Let the eyes find deep rest. Relax your eyes and bring your attention from your eyes down to your nose, to your palate, cheeks, bring your attention gently down the throat, धीरे धीरे अपना ध्यान को आँखों से, फिर नाक से, फिर जिह्वा से धीरे से गले तक लेके आएगा. Gently bring your attention to the throat as though a viscous fluid is flowing from the head, like a honey or some oil flowing slowly to the throat. जैसे गाढ़ा कोई द्रव नीचे उतर रहा हो, जैसे शहद है या तेल है, वैसे अपनी ध्यान को, अपना चेतना को धीरे धीरे गले तक लेके आया. Now bring your attention to both your shoulders and arms. Notice how relaxation is coming down your shoulders and your palms. अपना विश्राम करें. मन को दोनों भुजाओं पर लेके आए, दोनों हथेली पर लेके आए. अब देखिए झंझनाहट सी हो सकती है, कुछ तरंगे उठ सकती है, विश्राम मिलता होगा. Relax your shoulders, arms and your palms, slowly bringing your attention down from the chest to the stomach region. Stomach, liver, pancreas, spleen, gallbladder, intestine, this area. Keep your attention on the belly button. मन को अपनी नाभि में रखें. And let your mind move deep into your stomach layer by layer. Don't be in a hurry. Slowly penetrate layers of your stomach region, the skin, and then take your mind deeper. Feel the belly. If you want, you may take a couple of deeper breaths. एक आध गहरी सांस लीजिए, पेट बाहर आ रहा है अभी और नीचे जा रहा है, तो पेट पर ध्यान बनाए रखें। परत दर परत मन को पेट के भीतर धीरे धीरे जाने दीजिए। Let your mind filter through layers and layers of tissues of your belly, feeling each layer, feeling the muscles, the nerves. Let it move to the central empty space. पेट के बीचों बीच खाली जगह है, वहां तक धीरे धीरे अपने मन को चारों ओर से लेके जाइए। चारों ओर से पेट के भीतर धीरे धीरे मन जा रहा हो, ऐसा भाव करें। With the rhythm of the breath, you can feel the tissues, the internal organs. Take your mind without visualizing much about it. कोई ज़्यादा कल्पना न करें, सिर्फ मन को अंदर ले जा रहे हैं, इतना ही काम है। अपने मन को पेट के बीचों बीच रखे हैं। इस वक्त आप इस भाव से विश्राम करें। As though you're putting your entire attention in the center of your belly, middle of your belly, deep inside, relax and repose. You were in someone else's womb before you came into this planet. Now let your mind just be deep in your own belly. हम किसी के पेट में थे पहले, उनके गर्भ में थे। अपने माँ के गर्भ में हम थे पहले। इस वक्त अपना मन को अपना पेट के भीतर रख दें और विश्राम करें। Relax and let go all your effort. इस वक्त सभी प्रयत्न छोड़ दें. There is this fire in your belly, and that digests your food. अपने पेट में जठराग्नि है, वह चेतना है. The consciousness is permeating this energy, this fire energy. Our consciousness is permeating every cell of our belly. Little more attention in your stomach. A gentle feeling, a gentle attention is all that we need to do. Let go of all your efforts. इस वक्त सब प्रयत्न छोड़ दें. कुछ भी नहीं करना है, छोड़ दीजिए. मन जहां जाना चाहे वहां जाने दें. Let go of all your efforts. Let the mind go in all directions, wherever it wants to go. Let it dissipate. Just relax. Every cell of your body is full of energy. In the stomach region, there is enormous energy. That digests and disseminates the food. Let your mind penetrate deep into the tissues of your liver, pancreas, gallbladder, all the internal organs. Now let go of all the efforts. No more efforts, just relax and repose in yourself. अब सब तरह की चेष्टा को छोड़ दें. शरीर के खास तौर से पेट के कण कण में चैतन्य शक्ति जगी है। पाचन शक्ति पूर्ण रूप से जगी है। अब विश्राम करें। ना ही कुछ करना है, ना कुछ जानना है। सब there's nothing to know and nothing to do right this moment. So just relax, relax and let go. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. Anywhere you find tension, just relax it and let it be. Just accept it, let it be. Relax and relax. And you may gently open your eyes.